time for Tiger Talk, presented by Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room. Old Chicago, amazing craft beers and food, north of I-70 in Hayes. Old Chicago, share, reconnect, celebrate. Tiger Talk is also brought to you by these premier Tiger sponsors. Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis, providing the best in-home loans to the Tiger community since 1920. The Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute, part of the University of Kansas Health System and the official physicians for Fort Hays State University Athletics. The certified public accountants of Adams, Brown, Barron, and Ball, your trusted advisors, providing you with commitment, experience, and integrity. BTI, your John Deere dealer, with locations in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. BTI, our family in partnership with your family. The Taco Shop, dine in, carry out, or delivery. You've never had it so good. Horizon Appliance and Mattress, TVs, appliances, Traeger grills, and Tempur-Pedic bedding. Open 7 days a week. And Eagle Communications, internet, TV, phone. Eagle Communications, our community connected.
And a pleasant Tuesday to you. Welcome to Tiger Talk. Gerard Walbrock, soon to be joined by Fort Hays State head football coach Chris Brown. We're at Old Chicago, just north of the interstate in Hayes. We record the program normally on Mondays, but with Labor Day yesterday, a special Tuesday edition of Tiger Talk. We'll get back to our Monday schedule next week, and should be that way the rest of the really entire season between football, basketball, and into the spring sports. But again, Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room here over the noon hours. Old Chicago, your craft beer authority. They have over 30 rotating draft beers. You can stop by north of the interstate, Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room, and we're glad to have them aboard as the new home for Tiger Talk. And we're glad to have you aboard as Fort Hays State gets set for week 2 of the college football season. They'll be in St. Joseph, Missouri, Thursday night, taking on the Griffins of Missouri Western, first road game of the year. Tigers coming off a thriller, an exciting one to open up the new season on this past Thursday at Lewis Field as they took on the Mules of Central Missouri, then ranked 18th in the country, and joined now by Coach Chris Brown. And, boy, what a thriller to open up the season. Probably a little more nerve-wracking for you, and I'm sure it was for some of the fans, but exciting way to start the season. I guess the most important thing, you started with a big W.
Yeah, we started with a big win. I mean, Central Missouri is a very, very good football team, and, they're going to win a lot of ball games. I hope their quarterback's okay. I mean, Bowles is a great player, tremendous athlete, and, he's a big part of what they do, offensively and their whole team. But it was a good win for us. It came down to the last 4 minutes, and we finally started to play. We had some things bounce our way and go our way, and ended up winning that ball game. But our kids never quit.
Yeah, you kept battling. I mean, that was a thing. Obviously, things weren't going well. It was a struggle on both sides of the ball, but figured some things out as the game went along, and that's why you play 60 minutes. You never know, and the last 5 minutes you won, and as it proved, those were the most important 5 minutes of the football game.
It was, a couple big plays there towards the end. The quarterback fumbles the ball, and Sheldon Schmidt picks it up, and, big play before that with Jamari Davis. Jake hitting Jamari Davis for that long touchdown, and probably the spotlight of the night was our special teams. Our special teams really did a great job and put us in some good situations and a couple of field goals that were huge.
Yeah, turnovers always key, and that's been a big part of the Tiger program in recent years. 2 fumble recoveries, an interception. You block a field goal, and you look at it. You block a field goal, they miss an extra point. You win the game by 4. Those were all key plays throughout the night.
Yeah, those are huge. I mean, you always want to keep points off the board somehow, and a lot of times teams take a play off, in that situation. And our guys went for it. Probably should have had another one, before that as well. But our guys hung in there, and Dante made a couple of field goals that kept us in the game as well. And turnovers. We didn't turn the ball over offensively. Knock on wood that we don't do it this week, but we had a lot of turnovers defensively and put some pressure on those quarterbacks and made some plays when we needed to. But, we came up with the win, and we got to get better this week, though.
What switched? It seemed like offensively became much more efficient, especially in the last half of that fourth quarter compared to what you did the first 3.5.
Just the things they did, in the first half was something we hadn't seen on film. We even watched every game last year, trying to figure out what they were going to do to us. And, they came up with a package where they brought a lot of pressure from one side, blitzed the other, played some man coverage, played some zone coverage, played off man, and just gave us little different looks that we hadn't seen out of them and since I've been here. And it took us a while to figure that out. It got into halftime, and the kids still trying to figure it out. And then we finally got it, midway through that third quarter into the fourth, our guys started locking in, seeing what they were doing, and we capitalized on some things.
Some bad news, I guess. A couple of old linemen go down in the ball game. And any update, any status, and how you're going to work around that here this week?
We'll find out more, here, in a couple of them this week. I know they'll both be out. We're just trying to figure out how long and if it's for the season or is it just, maybe a couple weeks. Hopefully it's just a couple weeks with those two because they're tremendous football players. But, we got some guys that we brought in, JUCO transfers that need to come in and step up. And we got a couple of freshmen, redshirt freshmen that need to step up as well. And then we got two true freshmen that we're looking at too. So, hopefully of those 6 guys, we can fill in 2 spots. But you never know until the lights turn on and you're playing that game whether the kid can get it done or not. And hopefully these kids can.
Well, the old adage, especially in football, next man up, you hear it used all the time. It's so true, though. And unfortunately, the offensive line, probably the one position you're a little bit thinner at than any other spot, and that's where it hits you. But great opportunities you said for someone to step up and try to earn a starting spot.
It is. Some of these guys, it's their opportunity to get on the field and play. And, a lot of times when you play O-line, it's 5 guys that play the entire game. A lot of people probably don't notice that, but it's usually those 5 guys. There's spots you fill guys in and out, especially on the D-line, linebacker. You'll rotate guys in safety positions and receivers. But, your quarterback and your O-lineman, they play the entire game. And, now's an opportunity. Kids need to take advantage of it and be ready and make the most of each opportunity they get.
Well, that'll be coming up not too far down the road. A couple of days, Tigers will be in St. Joe to take on the Griffins of Missouri Western. Again, we are at Old Chicago. Tiger Talk brought to you by Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room. It's home of the World Beer Tour. 110 beers from around the world. You can ask for details the next time you're here at Old Chicago and begin your World Beer Tour. Old Chicago, your pizza and craft beer authority. We're going to take our first break, be back with more with the head coach, Chris Brown, as Tiger Talk continues here on the Tiger Sports Network.
I'm Patty Stoll, broker-owner of Coldwell Banker Executive Realty. We want your dreams to become a reality. Coldwell Banker Executive Realty prides itself in putting you first.
First down at 10, ball on the right hash. Becerra, low snap, bounces to him. He's going to go for the home run, ball down the middle, and it's going to be caught by Davis. Touchdown! Fort Hays State, Jamari Davis, his first career touchdown catch from Muskogee, Oklahoma. Redshirt freshman gives the Tigers their first touchdown, and it's 16-12 with 4:46 to go in the game. That was obviously a big play on Thursday. Davis, speedster boy, close a couple of times. Well, I think one just over his fingertips, one underthrown. He may have had a monster game, but you can really see his speed and what a valuable weapon he's going to be here as his career continues to unfold. Just a redshirt freshman.
Yeah, he is. He might be one of the fastest guys I've ever seen on the football field. I mean, the kid's got tremendous speed, great hands. The very first play, we were backed up. I mean, we hit him in stride. He probably scores there, and that's probably 85-yard touchdown, 9-yard touchdown, and then. I think just a couple more series later, just went over his hands just a little bit. He probably catches that one and scores as well. But anytime the ball's in his hands, he's got a great chance to score, and, that's why we put him on kickoff return. I mean, he's so fast, and he's not real big, and he can find a little seam and go and have a chance to score, for us. So love the kid, works hard, loves the game of football, and, we got to utilize him, week in and week out.
Yeah, we got a chance to talk to him sometime a couple of weeks ago, and mentioned that he got hurt his senior year in high school, and so he only played a couple games when they made the playoffs at Muskogee, and then he redshirted at Fort Hays. So he was really eager to play in a football game, and you could tell. Brings a lot of enthusiasm.
Oh, he does. He's exciting, and we just got to calm some of that stuff down just a little bit, on the sidelines. But it's first game back in almost 2 years, and getting to play on the field and making some plays and making things happen. A kid gets excited, and you can't blame him. As he matures and gets older, it'll just become natural to him that he makes those plays all the time, and he'll just kind of pick it up and walk off and go make another play, and that's what we expect out of him.
Let's talk about the game a little bit. Central Missouri really came in and set the tone. They had that opening drive. They go 71 yards, but we've talked a lot about your defense, bend but don't break philosophy, and it's so true. They have a big game as far as total yardage. You hold them to 16 points and kind of set your tone as they were marching in. Looked like for a touchdown early on. Jose Delgado forces the fumble. You guys recover it, and they have momentum, but you keep them off the scoreboard. It was a huge play as it turned out in that game.
It is. It's huge for us, and we don't want to give up the easy play, like we got with Jamar. I mean, that's an easy touchdown. I mean, it can change the momentum so quick. We want an offense to have to sustain drives and have 10, 12 play drives if you're going to score, just to make you earn it. And we don't want to give up that big one. But that play towards the end with Jose causing the fumble and recover it, and I mean that's huge in that game, because who knows where that game might go from there.
You go 3 and out, but then an 84-yard punt by Dante Brown. He ties the school record set in the early 90s by Adam Ryan, but 84 yards, completely flipped field position. I mean, you go 3 and out after getting the ball at your 4. I mean, they're right there knocking on the door. Play like that, I mean, that's just, you don't expect that. That was a heck of a, I shouldn't say debut, it's his second year, but a good mark on the start of a young season for that kicker.
It was a great start for him, and he has a very, very strong leg, and if he gets a hold of it, that thing's going to fly. And he's got that potential, week in and week out to do that. And, in practice he's not so great, but as long as you're great on game day, Dante, I'm happy. And, he had a great game for us, not just punting, but also with his field goals and a kickoff here and there. I mean, he's, to me, player of the game and did things that we need to do to change field position and get points on the board.
The conference certainly saw that. He was the MIAA Special Teams Player of the Week. He averaged, I think, right at 48 yards per punt. He had 2 over 50, hit both of his field goals. So a good start to the season for Dante. And that's one of those positions you had a question mark. You had Brandon Brown for so long. He was so good, so reliable. You knew what you were getting. And anytime a changing of the guard, that was good to see for him. And as it turned out, those 2 field goals, although in distance weren't particularly long. I think 30 and 31.
Yep.
Obviously, pressure in a game like that where the offense is struggling.
It was, and he stepped up and did it, and he was flocked in, focused, and I mean he made him easy, and heck, the other day in practice I backed him up to a 50, and he banged it right through there, and probably had another 10, 15 yards to go. So, he's got the potential to do it, and he's really focused in, locked in. Brandon's helping him right now, coaching him up, during practice and during the games, and I think that helps him out as well, just kind of keep him focused and locked in. But he's got a lot of potential. He's got a really, really strong leg, and he's a great kid as well.
Well, they end up scoring a field goal after that, and then their next possession we're driving, and you block the field goal. And we talked about it in the first segment how big that was, the point you left or kept off the board from them, and every little play, everything like that is so important. But I mean, you could be down 13-0 or worse. Instead, it's a 3-0 game. You guys were hanging in there because of the defense and special teams coming up with some big plays.
Yeah, they were. Our defense did just a great job in our PAT block. I mean, those things are huge. It's just go hard. I mean, you never know what might happen. Get your hands up. We noticed on film that he had low kicks, which helped us out. And heck, there's another one in there that we should have had as well. I mean, our kid basically flinched, before he got to the ball. If he just runs through it, it's blocked too, and that's more points off the board. But our special teams and our defense, really kept us in this game and gave us the opportunity to win it.
Well, then you answered after that block, a 12-play, 66-yard drive. You got all the way down to the 14, and then it kind of stalled, and you had some key penalties that kind of set you back. Really kind of the tone of the night, and I know they happened first game, but you're never happy with them. And you had to settle for the field goal, and it looked like you might be able to take it in for a touchdown. And that was kind of some penalties kind of thwarted that chance to get 7.
And it was all night. They were just, undisciplined penalties. We just weren't doing what we're supposed to. A holding call here and there, and a couple offsides and a couple false starts, and those are things that we got to eliminate. I mean, those are just dumb penalties that are going to cost you a ball game if you continue to do those things. So hopefully, we've stressed out this week in practice. Eliminate the dumb penalty, make sure we're doing things the right way, and hopefully our kids listen and play a lot better than they did last week.
Well, unfortunately, and you've been pretty good about closing halves strong. They drive right before halftime, score with a little over 30 seconds to go, an 87-yard drive, and kind of really gave them that momentum back going to the locker room because it looked like you may have some.
Yeah, we did. We situation where they capitalized and made the most of an opportunity. We got out of position a little bit, didn't keep contained, and kid got to the edge and scored. And it's just pursuit and doing your job. And that's something that this group still needs to learn is worry about what you're doing and doing your assignment, and that's all you need to worry about. If you do that, we're going to be fine. And we just got guys trying to do their own things a little bit, and hopefully we got that changed this week.
Well, that touchdown gave the Mules a 10-3 lead at halftime. We're going to take a break, and we'll take a look at what turned out to be a thrilling second half, and especially for the Tigers' perspective, a thrilling fourth quarter in the win over Central Missouri. Tiger Talk recorded Normally on Mondays, we're here on a Tuesday because of Labor Day yesterday, but it's over the noon hour at Old Chicago, the place to watch your favorite football games this fall. And while you're in, join the OC Rewards program. It's free, and and all new members receive a free appetizer for up to $10 after their first transaction. It's all at Old Chicago, your pizza and craft beer authority north of I-70 in Hayes. We'll take a break, back with more on Tiger Talk here on the Tiger Sports Network.
Ready to discover something new? The next time you're in your car, tune your radio to 94.3 FM.
It's here!
It's Hayes' greatest hits.
Love it!
On 1400 KAYS and 94.3 FM. Do you believe in love? Glory days.
Well, 94.3 FM, KAYS. Go ahead, check us out.
Three receivers to the left side. Bradley, play action's going to throw. He loses the football. It's picked up by the Tigers. They haven't got it to the 3-yard line. Bradley coughed it up as he turned and was going to throw the football. It slipped out of his hands, and Sheldon Schmidt recovers it. The Tigers will have it. The quarterback under the ball. Defended by Fort Hayes. Touchdown. Can you believe it? Yeah, can you believe it? That was a bizarre play. That was kind of the key in the comeback. Tigers get a gift. They take advantage of it, score a touchdown, and go on to beat the Mules last Thursday by a final of 20-16. We're at Old Chicago, the taping of Tiger Talk here over the noon hour. Of course, playback in the evening on Tiger Radio Mix 103. And, of course, you can always catch the video replay on Eagle Cable Channel 14 and 614 on Tuesday and Wednesday nights. Gerard Wellbrock, head football coach Chris Brown, and that was a bizarre play. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. You mentioned Bowles was down. They had their backup in, and had played pretty well. Just one of those crazy things. The ball squirted out of his hands, and Sheldon almost, if he doesn't get run over by one of his fellow defensive linemen, takes it in for a touchdown. He may never get a chance to score again as easy as that could have been, but a huge recovery, and really that was the full momentum changer, and he eventually go in and take the lead.
Yeah, that was huge for us. It's something that you really don't see very often. Every once in a while it does happen, and sometimes you got to have some luck, and somebody was looking out for us as well, and that's the man about he took care of us, but it was huge. That's a big play for us. Sheldon was right there at the right spot at the right time, and again, like you said, if he doesn't get hit by his own guy, get tackled by his own guy, he's probably in the end zone. But maybe that helps us out more because it takes some more time off the clock as well, and we hit Beaverly, in the end zone on third down and take the go ahead because we did not want to kick a field goal in that situation and go into overtime, but it worked out for us.
Well, you started the third quarter with a little more momentum. You got the ball. You drove 10 plays, 62 yards. Lane Beaverly had a couple of big third down catches. I think one of a 39, another of 21 yards on third and long to convert. And again, you're moving the ball, but you had to settle for that field goal. It had to be frustrating for you and for the team, I'm sure, to be doing things so well and then have to have it stall once you get down near the red zone.
Yeah, it is. Anytime we get to the red zone, we want to score touchdowns, and that's just, that we preach it all the time. But Lane had a great game. I think he had 8 or 9 catches for 100-some yards, and he played tremendous for us, and he got us out of some situations that we needed to get out of. Had some big key catches and got a lot of yards and broke a couple of tackles here and there. And he's a fast kid. He's got some speed to him as well, and he's kind of shifty. So we got to keep using him as well. You got him, Jamari, and we got some weapons out there. We just need to learn how to disperse it, properly amongst them all, and hopefully we can get some more points on the board, this week.
Yeah, 8 catches for Lane. That tied a career high third time. He had 112 yards. I think the fourth 100-yard receiving game in his career, and that touchdown. You mentioned you have Harley Hazlett. You have Beaverly. We talked about Jamari Davis, and Andre Reed's another fast guy. You've got a lot of receivers. Andrew J, that tough possession guy. Is that something that Jacob's going to have to kind of get reaccustomed to? It seems like there may be times he focuses on maybe one guy instead of dispersing it and making it a little bit more even. Is that an area you're trying to emphasize with him?
I think so. Just seeing what they're giving to you defensively and going to the open guy, the guy that is going to be open. They all catch the ball well. They all run very well. They all can make, they can score a touchdown. You had Matt Wendelberger to that and Hunter Budke, to that group as well. Some great things to have. And Manny Ramsey, another great receiver that we have that probably didn't get a lot of time, but in practice he's done some great things. So you just got to learn how to line up and not find a favorite. You always got your favorites,
right.
As a quarterback, but take what they give you. You know, if they're going to force something, don't force it. Just take what they're going to give you, and then let's move on to the next down.
Well, you got the field goal. It was 10-6 now, and it was kind of an exchange. I think the next 4 possessions, 2 by each team, you exchange punts, and then they kind of get some momentum back. They drive 87 yards and get the touchdown to go up 16-6, but they missed the extra point, and we've seen it so many times. Those plays like that can be big, and it turned out to be a big one there and a break for you that they missed that extra point.
Yeah, it was. That was huge for us, because just going to that last possession of the game, all they really need to do is scoring that touchdown and keeping those points off the board. They have to score a touchdown now to take the lead and not just a field goal to tie it up. So every little point's important. Talk to our kids about that every time. It's time for us to make a PAT. You better block and you better protect because this point's important as well, and any field goal's important. But and if we're going for it, you got to go get it. What's going to be a 2-yard penalty? Move it forward, or maybe a 10-yard on the kickoff, which most people are going to fair catch anyway and get on the 25. So with the rule changes and things, we got to keep those points off the board and get the points, and it's our opportunity.
Well, it was 16-6 at that point. Tigers getting set to enter the fourth quarter. We're going to take a break, and we'll talk about what proved to be the most exciting part of the game, that final fourth quarter in which Fort Hays State was able to come back and get the victory. Again, we are at Old Chicago, where Tiger Talk is recorded over the noon hour on Tuesday this week, normally on Monday. So make your plans to join us next Monday for lunch and catch Tiger Talk. And while you're there, try one of the great pizzas. The dough made fresh daily. It's all at Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room north of I-70 in Hays. We'll take a break and talk about that exciting fourth quarter and the Tigers win in their season opener this past Thursday night against Central Missouri. And we'll also take a little preview look at this Thursday's opponent, Missouri Western, as we continue on Tiger Talk here along the Tiger Sports Network.
As you plan for your business in 2018, advertising should be an important part of your growth strategy. Digital marketing puts your business in front of the right customers online. Advertising with the Hays Post ensures your message will be viewed 1.5 million times a month, including 375,000 unique views a week. Are you ready to grow your business? Advertise with us today. It's affordable and it works. Call us today at 785-628-0467. Eagle Communications, our community connected.
3rd and goal for the 5. There's a pass, and Beaverly's open. He has it. Touchdown! Fort Hays State. Wayne Beaverly, who had a monster game against the Mules a year ago, has given Fort Hays State their first lead of the night with 3:05 to go. It's 19-16. Yeah, that was a big touchdown catch. It gave the Tigers the lead, proved to be the game winner from Beaverly, from Jacob Mazer. A little slant pattern, did a good job of getting in front of the corner there and holding on to a bullet that was a little bit low, but a good catch by Beaverly, and it proved to be the game-winning touchdown.
Yeah, it was a little bit late, but that's Jake sometimes just making sure it's there, but he's got a cannon, and I'm surprised it just didn't go through Beaves as hard as he threw it, but Beaves is used to those hard throws and catching them, and that was a huge play for us, and it got us the win. Our defense came out and got a stop and got an interception, by Hookman there towards the end. That was huge for us, and we were able to take a knee and win that game.
I want to ask you, early fourth quarter, you're backed up, you punt the ball. They appeared to muff it. You recover, and the officials ruled that it was interference, didn't allow him to make the play. What was the explanation from the official? Obviously, the crowd didn't agree, and you watch the replay, and the ball's clearly out of it was flying away from him. What was the rule? What was the explanation by the officials? The conference said anything to you on that call?
No, I didn't want to talk to him at that minute, but as it went on, I talked to the head of the officials the other day, and if the young man fair caught it, and once you make it the fair catch signal, you have the opportunity, if you muff it, to catch it while it's in the air. If it would have hit the ground, we could have recovered it right there. But if he didn't fair catch it, and he muffs it, we can go ahead and tap the ball out of his hands and play. So it's kind of it's a fine line, between those rulings. And, I didn't think the kid had a chance to catch it the second time anyway. But they made the call. It is what it is. We just have to live with it and play another down.
Kind of bad luck because it bounces in Chance's hands.
Yeah.
It's done deal. But in fact, it was in the air. So I know a lot of people have asked me about it. So I'll see what the explanation was for you in that. But it proved to be big. They kept it. But to your team's credit, obviously it could have been a momentum changer. Could have kind of hung their daubers a little bit. Didn't do that. Got to stop and got the football back. And you sometimes see plays like that. You think you get a turnover. It's ruled the other way. And you kind of mope about it for a while. And all of a sudden, before before you know it, you're giving up points. But you guys didn't do that.
No, they didn't, and that's this group of kids, that we don't quit and we don't let things bother us. We just keep playing football. We know some things are going to go against us and have some adversity, but you got to fight through it. I mean, that's what being a man's about, and get through tough situations, and then that's what our kids did. They did a good job of getting the ball back to our offense, and we made some things happen, and then the quarterback doing what he did and for Central and really helping us out. So,
well, after that, you got the stop, and then you put together a 6-play, 70-yard drive, and we heard the highlight earlier, the Jamari Davis touchdown catch with 4:46 to go, got you to within 3, and I think for those who stuck around the stadium, all right, this is still possible. As big of a struggle as it's been, you finally got that big play. Davis on that post pattern got into the end zone, and now it was game on from that point on.
It was, that sparked us, gave us some momentum, gave us some excitement, some enthusiasm. Our kids started believing again, and it just takes one little thing every once in a while just to make things happen. I mean, how many games were we behind last year? I mean, Central Oklahoma we were behind. I mean, Pitt, Washburn. I mean, there are so many different games. The Northwest game, I think we were behind as well. And, these kids find ways to win ball games, and, you can't ask for more than that. And they're going to battle, from the very first snap to the very last snap because they believe they can truly win every game, and we expect to win every game, and our kids did it.
Well, you look at last year, I mean, you had 4 games that could have gone either way, and you won them. And usually, even when Northwest was rolling and winning title after title, they had a handful of games that were close, and they win games. And I think we maybe even said on the air, sometimes you start developing a winning attitude and a winning culture, you just win games. And this would probably categorize one of those as probably shouldn't have won it, but sometimes winners win games, and that is a testament to the program, I think, and the kids involved, and hopefully something they can build off of. And when I'm sure they're going to be in situations like this again this year, and you just find a way to win.
There's a process we started 8 years ago, trying to find kids that knew how to win ball games, and we're going to compete on a daily basis. And, as the years, progressed, we've gotten better and better athletes and kids that know how to do those things. And I got a coaching staff that's the same way. They're great coaches. They instill that in our players, and, we expect to win every down. And, you're going to get beat sometimes, and it's going to happen, but you got to find a way to come back and win the next play. And that's what we preach continuously, and never give up, never quit, and go win. That's all we ask for. You got to find a way to win every ball game, and sometimes it may not happen that way, but that's what we expect, and I think our kids expect the same things.
Well, Bieberly scores a touchdown with 3:05 to go, and you wondered, was that too much time?
Yep.
And they drove into your territory. I mean, they were moving the ball and had time, but Tanner Hookman made a nice deflection of a pass near midfield, and then he comes through with a big interception to seal that. And he's had a knack for that his last couple of years of getting some key interceptions at key time. I think he ran one back for a score a year ago, and maybe had one at Lindenwood a few years ago.
Yep.
But that was a big play, obviously, and once he did that, that sealed the game.
It is. I mean, he's made some great plays for us, and he always seems to get himself in a good spot and where he needs to be and to make that play. And deflecting that pass was huge. That interception at the end was huge, but. That series as well. I mean, third downs, we got to get ourselves off the field. We're not going to go 4-on-4. So, a couple key mistakes and maybe not getting the call and understanding the call, what we're trying to do defensively. But that's with young kids, just heat of the moment. Game's going fast. They're in and out, and we're trying to get calls into them quick. Maybe you didn't get the call, but that's a time where we got to really buckle down and get things done. But they end up getting it done.
Well, I was going to ask you about that third down, and they were 10 of 19. You guys were 9 of 18, so didn't feel like it, but you were fairly efficient, 50% on your side of the ball. But is that the biggest, I'm not going to say concern, but the biggest area your team needs to improve on defensively is getting off the field on third down?
Yeah, it is. And, not making it, a lot of them, those were like 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. So we got to do a better job on first and second down to make it, 3rd and long, and then you got a better chance to do it on third down. But, offensively the same way. I mean, 50% is good, but we want to get that up in the 60, 65% range. And so we'll work. We worked on those this week as well, and defense has really been working on it too. So hopefully this is the week where we can really do well on both sides of the ball on third down.
No, on that side, I didn't go back to first down. You guys really seemed to struggle. You had a couple times you had a good positive play on first down. It seemed like it was either nothing or negative or very, very little yardage on first down when you had the ball. And it seems like that really sets the tone for the possessions.
It does. I mean, first down's everything. If you have a great first down where you get it, 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6, well, now you can do some things on second down besides 2nd and 10. Now they pretty much know you're going to throw the ball, and so it kind of handcuffs you a little bit. And then defensively, that's what we got to do to an offense is, get them 2nd and long so they become pretty predictable. And those are things we got to work on. I mean, it's the first game and first game jitters, and they're defending the title, and they're nervous, and there's a lot of stress and a lot of pressure on them. And I said, man, it's just playing football. Just go do the things you've been doing. You guys have been playing this game since you were probably 8 years old, and let's just go out and have fun, enjoy it, and play to your potential, and don't second guess yourself, because you guys are great players. You're tremendous athletes. Just go make the plays, and hopefully we do that this week.
Well, Tiger Talk recorded during the noon hour at Old Chicago, so make plans to join us next Monday. Old Chicago, burgers, sandwiches, salads, and distinctive taproom fare. Old Chicago Pizza and Taproom. Serious craft brews, serious good food. We're going to take our final break. The time we have left, we'll preview Thursday's matchup in St. Joe against Missouri Western. We'll do that right after this here on the Tiger Sports Network.
That was another legend on 99 KZ Country. And yes, before that, we had a brand new artist. Your home for today's stars and the legends. We play real country. I'm Teresa Trapp. Weather, news, sports, it's all here. We're on Facebook, and there is a listen live link at hayespost.com. Dial us in on your radio at 99.5 FM. KHAZ, real country. 99 KZ Country.
Tigers up 20-14-16. Bradley to throw. He's got time now. Flush. Throws high. Interception. It's picked off. Fort Hays State has the football. It's Tanner Whitman running up the near sideline to the 40. He's going to take it on a knee. And Fort Hays State is going to win this one in remarkable fashion. Yeah, indeed it was. That was the play that sealed it. Hookman's interception. And Fort Hays State goes on to win the game 20-16. Now the Tigers gearing up for their first road game of the season. They will be in St. Joseph, Missouri, taking on Missouri Western, a place that until last year you finally beat them there. Tigers hadn't won since '87, and they lost their final 5 games a year ago. They had some quarterback trouble, some injuries, but boy, even though they lost 28-6 to Northwest in their opener last Thursday, you can see just watching a much improved football team. This is going to be a big challenge Thursday night.
It is. They got big guys up front on both sides of the ball. They're very athletic, on both sides of the ball as well. Don Marino, the quarterback, is a tremendous athlete. He's got a strong arm, can get out of the pocket and run a little bit. And he might have a little bit more speed than Bowles did. So we got to find a way to keep him contained. They got some great receivers who have some good speed. 3 or 4 running backs that are very talented guys as well. And it's going to be work for us. And then on the defensive side, they got some defensive backs that'll come up and hit you, and they play physical and they play aggressive. So it's going to be a big challenge for us. They're a lot different team than they were last year. They're all on the same page. They're playing hard. They're believing, and they know they can win ball games. So it's going to be a tough battle for us.
I think Matt Williamson, their second-year head coach, made the comment after the Northwest game that if they continue to play as physical as they did in that game, they're going to win their fair share of games. And they led the MIAA in takeaways a year ago. I think they led in interceptions. 3 of them returned for scores. And you could make an argument that back end may be even better this year.
It is. They got some talented kids back there. They're long, they're lean, they got good speed, and they do a good job of reading routes and seeing the quarterback's eyes and where he's throwing. I mean, even their linebackers do a good job of, as well as getting hands on receivers. And D-line does a good job of keeping quarterbacks contained and getting pressure on them. So, I mean, it's going to be a tough battle for our offense, but, hopefully we can get them being overly aggressive and get some big plays on them as well and be able to establish our run game. If we can do that, we know we can really open some things up. But, it comes down to us taking care of ourselves and doing what we do best. And we got to find out what that is, this week.
Well, Dave Brown is their offensive coordinator. I think his first year in that role, he'd been with them, but he was at Nevada. They run the pistol, and you mentioned Don Marino. They've got a good group of running backs. They seem to always be able to run the football, and they've got 4 of them in that receiving core. I mean, they had some good ones a year ago, and they've added to it this year. I mean, offensively, a lot of weapons.
And they do have a lot of weapons, and that offensive line does a good job of, they're big, and they're strong kids up front, and they do a good job of protecting Dom and do a good job of opening up holes for the running backs to run. So, we're going to have a test this week, defensively, and making sure we don't give up the big play, and we got to make sure that they earn everything that they get.
Well, this week's almost here. It'll be a Thursday night game. You'll have a big crowd in St. Joe for their home opener. Could be a bit damp. They're talking some potential rain. So I guess all those factors, we'll see how it is Thursday when we get there. But could make for a very interesting night in St. Joe.
Yeah, it could. It depends on how the rain is, and hopefully I'll make sure I bring my rain gear so I stay dry. But it could make it very interesting. You just got to make sure it's ball security and take care of things, no stupid penalties again, and just take care of the ball. And defensively, we'll go strip it as much as you possibly can and get some turnovers and make things happen. In special teams, we got to be smart and make sure we don't hurt ourselves. So it's going to be an exciting one.
Yep, we'll see what happens, Coach. As always, we appreciate the time. We'll see you on Thursday night in St. Joe.
Sounds good. Thanks, Gerard.
There you go. That's head football coach Chris Brown of the Fort Hays State Tigers as they take on Missouri Western. That game will kick off at 7 at Spratt Memorial Stadium. We'll be on the air at 6 on Tiger Radio Mix 103 and the Tiger Sports Network with the Auto World pregame show. Reminder, you can watch the video replay of Tiger Talk Tuesday and Wednesdays on Eagle Cable Channel 14 and 614. You can always catch it online, HaysPost.com. Just hover over the Eagle TV icon and on the top left and click on Tiger Talk to catch the video replay of Tiger Talk at Hays Post. And of course it airs every normally Monday evenings. We'll get back to our normal Monday routine next week as we get back to some Saturday football in about a week and a half. Tiger Talk presented by Old Chicago Pizza and Tap Room, your craft beer authority. Old Chicago, north of Interstate in Hays. Serious craft brews, serious good food. And it's also brought to you by these Tiger Premier sponsors, the Hays Med Orthopedic Institute and Orthopedic Clinic, Adams Brown, Barron and Ball, BTI, Valley Hope of Norton, The Taco Shop, Golden Bell Bank of Hays and Ellis, Horizon Appliance and Mattress, and Eagle Communications. Again, Tigers and Griffins coming up on Thursday. This is Gerard Walbrock. So long, everyone.